Hi, I'm Dorothy Godin, broker through Crown Realty, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts. You often hear when people talk about real estate that the three most important things are location, location, location. And I often think when people say this, they think they want to be in the best, most desirable location. But I think it's bigger than that. I think it has to do with neighborhoods. What neighborhood do you want to be in? In the city of Greater Sudbury, we have many great neighborhoods all across the city. And before you start looking at houses, you really should look at your lifestyle and where your lifestyle is going in the next, 5-10 years, and see and write on paper, what is it that we are looking for in a residential neighborhood. And there are many factors. One of the biggest one is, whether or not a family is going to have children or not have children, or are you a retired couple looking for just sort of retirement living? Whatever your lifestyle is, you need to pick an area that fits your lifestyle. So for people who have kids, they're often looking at, well, is there a community presence in the neighborhood? Are there a lot of kids in the neighborhood? Is there a pool? Is there arena? What is the school district like? And am I in an area that my kids can get bused to that certain school? Because I guess here in Sudbury, we have rules about who can be bused to certain schools depending on what area you live in. And then, is a sidewalk important? Is streetlights important? Is, walking distance to shopping important? All of these things you should write down, what is important to us in our lifestyle in this stage of life, because everybody is different, right? And then as you decide what your must-haves are, get out in your car and go look at different neighborhoods. There's so many across the city, and see what neighborhoods fit your criteria. And once you do that, and we know now what areas you want, then we can plug you into the automatic system and start looking at houses in the areas that you already want to go to. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, the market was so brisk that people didn't really have time to research areas. If a property came up, they just wanted to get into a house. And for some people, they kind of took their, third choice in terms of area and location and neighborhood, because that's all that was available. Thankfully, the market has settled down a little bit, and we have time to do the research, and you should take the time to do the research. So I would say go visit those neighborhoods and visit them at different times of the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and check out what's happening. And also, you're looking at pride of ownership. If you have a neighborhood and everybody's houses are well looked after, and maybe they're not necessarily new, but like super clean, and the landscaping is beautiful. These are the things you want to look at. And other considerations, people look at sidewalks. If there's any sidewalks, what's the street lighting like? The commute to work is important for many people. There's so many factors that go into where do we want to live. And so let's do that homework before we start looking at houses, because the last thing you need is to find, a great house on realtor.ca, and you kind of Google search around the house, and it doesn't look too bad. And when you get there, it's like driving through Deliverance to get to that beautiful house. And most people will say, okay, I don't want to be in that neighborhood. It's maybe an extreme example, but I think you know what I mean. So I think it's important to do your research, have a real good look at yourself and your family and where you want to be and what things are important to you, what are must-haves, what are things we might be able to compromise on. And then let's go check out those areas and go to those areas and talk to people. If you're going to the local park or the pool or just going for a walk with your dog, talk to the people in that area and ask them what do they like about the area, what they don't like in the area. And then if you can find someone who used to live in that particular neighborhood and moved out, I would talk to them and see, why did you move out? Is it something about the neighborhood, or is it just, personal choice and moving on to something different? So do as much research as you can about the area, do your homework, and then let's go look at houses. I hope you find this helpful. As always, you can reach me at Dorothy Godin at remax.net or 705-561-2360. Have a great week.